everyone, and welcome back to another brand new Star Stable video. Today, I'm going to be telling you tips and tricks and everything you need to know in order to get the most of your time when collecting winter magic, and basically just what I've discovered when it comes to getting a bunch of winter magic really quickly. I've been playing for literally 10 minutes and I have 100, so don't mind that. But this is how you can get winter magic really quickly without having to struggle or not finding them. Especially not finding them is a big thing, but I'm gonna teach you again. Bestie, just trust me. And as always, I currently have 2 free giveaways for star coins or star rider. The first one is 1,000 star coins and the second one is 500. Be sure to go check those out if you haven't already. And before we get into the video, I just want to say that on my channel I will be hosting so many more giveaways, especially for the holiday season, so make sure that you have notifications on so you don't miss your chance to get star coins, star rider, 10,000 star coins, and more. So anyways, when it comes to winter magic, you could get so many free items. The cap for restoring all of the winter magic is currently 18k, and I think that Star Stable learned from the Hollow Woods update, and that's why it's kind of more expensive, because, you know, it's kind of the same feature as collecting light, in a way. Well, at least collecting fireflies, and they learned from that, so they made it pretty expensive. But everything you can get all together looks so cute, and anyways, it is just helpful to know how to collect them in the most efficient way possible. So without any further ado, let's get into the video then, and as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. So let's go. Okay, so honestly, we're starting out pretty important here, but the first thing I want to mention are locations. Now, there's 2 things I want to mention when it comes to locations of the winter magic spawns, and first one, from what I've seen, the spawns remain similar, if not exactly the same. So for example, you see a snowflake here on the ice, that's like a spawn point. So at certain times, the snowflakes will spawn there on the ice no matter what. Like, that's a set spawn point. I don't think the snowflakes, of course where they spawn is random, but not the exact location. The exact locations are always apparently the same. And that is nice to mention because when looking for like what route you want to create or where you are going to collect the most of them, kind of want a general location and general knowledge of where the spawn points are. So I definitely recommend playing for 10 minutes and just making a mental map of the most places you found the spawns. For example, these 2, they keep spawning here for me, and it's exactly the same every single time I log on, is these locations. So the locations are always the same for the spawns. There may or may not be one there though, so I definitely recommend knowing the locations ahead of time and the best places for you to look for them, whether this is just, you know, running around on the ice trying to find the best locations, or if it's running around on the land trying to find the best locations. Secondly, when it comes to location, I want to mention this because it is super important. You will only find winter magic in Winter Village. Now, for certain other events, such as the winter tokens, like the little snowflake tokens you get for some different free items, that is actually completely separate, and doing the tornadoes or the in-game events in Winter Village too, the events in Winter Village, those are actually not going to get you winter magic. The only way to get winter magic is knowing the spawn locations and collecting them physically through your horse, just running into them, and also be aware of like the hitbox of your horse. I recommend a draft horse because the hitbox is a little bit bigger, and that way you can like collect them easier without actually having to run into them like straight head on and missing that. So that is definitely a little tip that I found out as well. May you see the good in all. May the season. Okay, ice is definitely a big one. I've seen a lot of people struggling when it comes to ice. This just takes practice. But if you are someone that struggles with, you know, getting one from the ice and then going a mile on the ice again and you're just sliding all over the place, we want to minimize the amount of time that we are on the ice, or the time sliding on the ice rather, because when your horse slides, you have to like restart it, and it just takes so long. So if you are someone that is not good at like, you know, staying on the ice or anything like that, I definitely recommend looking on the land first, or the snow first, I should say, and then going to the ice as a last resort. But of course, the practice makes progress. So if you are someone that you could kind of like, you know, when you run into one of the snowflakes and you see another one in the distance, but it's at an angle, kind of know how far your horse is gonna slide and start turning right away. Or something that I do is slow down my horse if I know that I'm going to turn badly, and that actually minimizes the time it takes to restart your horse, just slowing down at a walking pace for a little bit so you can minimize the amount of time that you're like, you know, going back and forth and being like, oh, I'm sliding. And that is definitely something you have to learn and just get a little bit better at.
Warmest wish for you.
Okay, another really helpful thing I want to mention is, especially if you're on somewhere where you could see on flat ground, so again, back to the ice for this example, but you will be able to see the winter magic before it is on your screen. Now, what I mean by this is if you look in the distance, you can't quite see the snowflake. The render distance isn't quite there, but what you can see is a little blurry circle, and you want to be looking just above the ground for the best like ability to spot these blurry circles. And when you go and run, collect whatever you want to say, but when you collect one winter magic, the next thing you want to do is right when you collect that, or before you collect that, keep scanning your screen and look a little bit above the land for those little blurs. And when you get close enough, they're like really faint the farther you get, but they are there and you can see them. So always go towards those little blurs in the distance, and keep in mind that you are looking for the little blurs, not necessarily the winter magic in and of itself, but the little blur is a winter magic. It is just not rendered in yet because it's too far away. So always use that as a great marker and starting point for finding them.
Feel the love of this warmest wish for you.
Alright, next is lag. Now, I personally have experienced this so much. I've also gotten the glitch, as you see right now, where I have like a chainsaw, a piece of hay in my hand, just so much is going on, and it could get kind of annoying, especially with everyone running around. If you are someone that struggles with lag quite a lot, this is the time where you want to be thinking about switching to a server where there is less lag. And what I mean by this is less people. Since everyone is actively running around and trying to find the winter magic, collecting it, you know, and we need 18k, so it's quite a lot, and quite a lot of running has to be done. Lag will just slow you down and make it less fun. I personally love listening to music or podcasts in the background as well. But for this tip specifically, I want to mention lag. Be wary of it. If you are someone that experiences quite a lot of it during Winter Village, it might just be the server you're on, and if there's too many people, you know, running, then I definitely recommend switching and trying out servers that will work best for you before you want to start actively going and getting all the winter magic. But lag is definitely a big one that you want to be wary of and looking out for. Okay, you may not think it makes a difference, bestie, but let me tell you, the Santa hat, 0 stats. My sweater I'm wearing right now is 0 stats, and I realized this a little bit later, but definitely have yourself a winter outfit. Doesn't even have to be winter, but if you want it to be winter, that's definitely cute too. I'm keeping mine winter for the theme. But definitely find stuff with good stats. This is going to help you so much, especially if your horse is a lower level or you haven't leveled up your horse that much yet. I definitely recommend comparing stats, getting a good stat outfit. Okay, we want to treat this like it's a championship, and you are trying to make your horse as fast as possible. This will increase agility, reaction time of your horse, and also if you're someone that struggles on the ice, this will help you as well, because the amount of time that it takes for your horse to start start running in a new direction, stop sliding, you know, all that, yada yada. Well, you want to make sure that you have good stats both for your character outfit and tack wise. This is going to make a huge difference in your gameplay and honestly just make it a lot more fun. Alongside this, I always mention happy horses, so make sure that you're riding a happy horse. That comes first before horse level, is that your horse is happy. I would rather ride a level 2 happy horse than a level like 14, 15 super sad horse. Like, make that decision, but for me, the happiness will affect your speed quite a lot more than the level.
Never let poor Rudolph join the reindeer games. Dasher, dancer, prancer,
Okay, next, I know I'm being kind of a hypocrite because I just used Icewink, a level 2 horse, to collect this, but I'm also learning along the way as I was making this video, and from what I've learned, having a higher stat horse and choosing this, planning it out ahead of time, is going to help you tremendously. Now, as I said before, you want to have a happy horse over a higher stat horse. I mean, not stat, but higher level horse. But I definitely recommend going in on a level 10 or above horse. Now, this is because for me right now, I'm not too sure if collecting the winter magic later will get you some horse XP, and then you might want to watch out for that, like collecting lights does later on. But for me right now, I don't have that much winter magic, so I'm not getting any horse XP as I'm collecting it. That is not a problem, but what you want to do is, again, treat this like a championship. You are trying to be the fastest horse ever. Well, on the fastest horse ever, not trying to be the fastest horse, but you know, bestie, you know. Anyways, the faster you are, the more, you know, you'll be good at collecting winter magic, reaction time, all of that. Again, make sure you are taking advantage of being a level 2 horse, at least. Okay, I know Park Zone is level 1, but hey, he's super cute and I want to ride him. So I definitely recommend getting a higher stat horse and taking care of your horse. Again, 2 very important factors.
down, you into the moon. The day before Christmas, Santa chose you.
Alright, next we are going to talk a little bit about the events and what they are. Now, these you do not want to pay attention to, okay? If you are someone solely in it for the winter magic and the winter magic rewards and not the winter tokens, 2 completely separate currencies this year, okay? We need to get that clear. 2 completely separate currencies. Winter tokens have been here for a very long time, and the only way to get winter magic so far is to grind. So what you want to do, again, take all the tips and collect the snowflakes in Winter Village. That is currently the only way to collect winter magic and get more. You don't want to be off put by going to events and being like, oh, I got no winter magic. Events this year do not give winter magic. In case you're wondering, even the external events in Jorvik, such as the snowstorms, that is not going to get you anywhere in terms of winter magic. That is great if you're someone that is saving up for the winter tokens and the free items that way. But what you want to do when it comes to winter magic, the only true way and the fastest way to get winter magic is doing this and just running around on Winter Village. Kind of get yourself a little route, get accustomed to the spawn points. As I've said before, get a faster horse. But that is the only way to get winter magic, so do not worry about the events, logging on hourly, anything like that. You do not need to worry about that right away. Alright, next I'm going to talk a little bit about route. Now, just like a training route would, you know, you kind of got used to it, going back and forth and stuff, I recommend getting a route for the winter magic. Now, this is because the spawn rates, as I've said before, and the spawn locations are actually very similar, and they're basically exactly the same. Okay, so for example, what I mean by this, as I've said before, but what I mean by this, if a snowflake, which is not true by the way, this is just an example, but if a snowflake spawns, a winter magic snowflake spawns at X1, Y1, the coordinates, for example, well, it's gonna always spawn at X1, Y1. That is like a specific location where the snowflake spawns. So once you get accustomed, that is basically the best thing you can do, is get accustomed to where they spawn, where to look out for them most, if you prefer to do it on ice, if you prefer to do it on land, you know, kind of mix it up, but definitely get yourself a route that you're comfortable with. And for example, you could do like a circle that slowly goes inward, a circle that slowly goes outward. You could start on land, finish on ice, and then repeat. But definitely get yourself a route where you know where the spawn points are, be wary of them, and of course, just stick to it. Of course, check out all of the little mini locations as well, especially on land. There are a lot of hiding crevices with so many winter magic like close knit together. So don't just limit yourself to the ice, okay? Ice spawn, they spawn so far apart, honestly, and it's so annoying on the ice. So my biggest tip is to find those mini crevices, like little caves and stuff on the land, and do those first, because those are going to be such a saving grace when it comes to collecting quite a lot in a small amount of time, and also save you the time of restarting your horse when you accidentally slide. Bye everyone, thank you so much for watching this Star Stable video. I hope this was helpful, and leave any extra tips you might have come across in the comments down below. Again, I will have so many guides, tips and tricks, and things you need to look out for here on my channel, so make sure you have notifications on, and go check out my giveaways if you haven't already. But as always, bestie, I hope you have a great day, and good luck getting winter magic, because I know this is going to be quite a lot of work. Bye bye!